using headphones if you would like to hear the gentle mic brushing. So, today we are going to be covering an older case, one that many of you have probably heard at least once. extremely emotionally damaged, to say the least. His wife said that he was a sexual deviant. He would wear hers and her daughter's makeup and underwear, and he was not capable of staying in a monogamous relationship. He was extremely fascinated with watching her have relations with other men and women right in front of him. In 1965, he became a probationary officer with the police department, believe it or not, but he was fired after 8 months when he and his partner assaulted an African American man because Larry accused that man of sleeping with his wife. So I guess it was okay for people to sleep with his wife in front of him, but not behind his back. Whether or not that man ever did is unknown. So in 1988, Larry briefly worked as a mailman, but he quit after 3 months, and it turned out that most of the mail he didn't even deliver. He brought it home and destroyed it. Can you believe that there are mailmen who actually do that? I shudder to think. Marjorie worked on and off, and when they were both working, they were doing okay financially and living in the upper middle class suburb of Floyd's Knob, Indiana. When Larry was working, he did not share the money that he made with his family. Instead, he spent it on firearms, motorcycles, and cars. This guy is like as bad as they come. Anyway, he filed for bankruptcy in 1980, and family members said that when the daughters visited them, they were always hungry because they were not being fed at home. The Loveless parents often went to bars in Louisville, Kentucky, where Larry would pretend to be a doctor or dentist and introduce Marjorie as his girlfriend, not his wife. He also liked to share her with his friends from work, when he was working, that is. She did not like this, by the way. During a get-together, let's call it, with another couple at their house, Marjorie was so upset with it that she attempted to take her own life. And that was not the only time that she tried to do that. When Melinda was 9 years old, Larry arranged for Marjorie to get gang essayed, and after that she tried to drown herself. Then she refused to have relations with Larry for the next month, and he decided if she wasn't giving it, he would just take it. So he essayed her while their daughters overheard the whole thing. In the summer of 1986, Larry beat his wife so severely that she had to go to the hospital, and this was because she would not let him leave the bar with 2 women that he met and take them home. He was convicted of battery after that, but I don't know. Did he go to jail or not? I don't know. So now the extent the sisters in the garage and essayed them one at a time, while the others watched. But the sisters did not confirm that this ever happened. He was also verbally abusive to his daughters, and one time he fired a handgun in the direction of Melinda's older sister when she was 7, but intentionally missed her. For 2 years, starting when Melinda was 5, the family was very involved in the Graceland Baptist Church. Larry and Marjorie gave full confession, and they stopped drinking and swinging while they were members. Larry became a Baptist lay preacher, and Marjorie became the school nurse. The church later arranged for Melinda to be taken to a motel room with a 50-year-old man for a 5-hour exorcism. Larry became a marriage counselor, of all things, for the church. But he acquired a reputation of being too forward with the women, and he eventually, reportedly, attempted to essay one of them. After that, he and Marjorie left the church and went back to drinking and swinging. In November of 1990, after Larry was caught spying on Melinda and her friend, Marjorie attacked him with a knife. He grabbed for the knife and got injured, needing to go to the hospital. After that, Marjorie tried to take her life once again, and her daughters called the authorities. Larry then filed for divorce and moved to Florida. Melinda was actually crushed by the fact that he left, and especially when he remarried, she was even more upset. He sent her letters for some time, but eventually all contact was severed. Ultimately, he died in 1998. Now, coming closer to the case, but we're not there yet. In 1990, when Melinda was 14, she started dating Amanda. After her father left the family and her mother remarried, Melinda started getting into fights at school. She was depressed, and she started receiving professional counseling, and that is when her relationship deteriorated and the two broke up in 1991. Okay. Now, that was the longest history I have ever done. So back to the case. Now, even though Shanda had switched to another school, Melinda was still determined to get her out of the picture. So, on January 10th, 1992, she gathered Shanda's throat and started interrogating her about her relationship with Amanda. So, of course, now 12-year-old Shanda is scared out of her wits and she is crying. And they went to Witch's Castle. Amanda is not there, okay? She does not even know about any of this. It was a complete lie. So, they took her to Witch's Castle and they bound her arms and legs with rope. Loveless taunted her that she had pretty hair and wondered how she looked if they would cut it off. Then Loveless took off all of Shanda's rings and handed each to the girls. Ripey took Shanda's Mickey Mouse watch and danced to the tune that it played. Tackett then got a shirt with a smiley design from the car and lit it on fire. But then she feared that the fire would attract other cars to notice them, so they all left. During the ride, Shanda was begging them to take her back home. They wound up getting lost a few times on the road and stopped to ask for directions at a couple of gas stations. And then they arrived at the edge of some woods in Madison, Indiana. Tackett led them to a dark, abandoned building in a heavily forested area. Lawrence and Ripey at this point were frightened, and they decided to stay in the car. But Loveless and Tackett took Shanda inside. They made her strip down to her underwear, and then Loveless beat her with her fists and repeatedly slammed Shanda's face into her knee, which cut Shanda's mouth on her own braces, and her mouth started bleeding profusely. Then Loveless tried to slash Shanda's throat, but the knife was too dull. Ripey came out of the car to hold down Scherer, so she decided now, oh, okay, I can come out of the car, I don't know what changed. And then Loveless and Tackett took turns stabbing Shanda in the chest. Then they strangled her with a rope until she was unconscious and put her in the trunk of the car and told the other two girls that she was dead. I assume they thought she was dead at this point. Next, the girls drove to Tackett's house because she lived nearby, and they went inside to have some soda and clean up. Then they heard Shanda screaming from the trunk of the car. Tackett went out with a paring knife and stabbed her several more times till she assumed she was dead. At 2:30 a.m., Lawrence and Ripey stayed at Tackett's house, while Tackett and Loveless went out for kind of a joyride in the car. But they heard Shanda continuing to cry So they showed the girls the trunk of the car, which had bloody handprints and bloody socks still in there. Amanda was horrified and asked to go home. When they pulled up in front of her house, Loveless kissed Amanda and told her that she loved her and begged her not to tell anyone what they had done. Amanda promised that she wouldn't, and then she got out of the car and went into her house. Later that morning, which was now January 11th, 1992, two brothers were out driving and they noticed something on the side of the road that they thought was a mannequin, but they weren't sure, so they pulled over and got out and looked at it and realized it was the burnt body of a child. So of course they called the police, who came down, and that was 10:55 a.m. and the detectives started an investigation and collected evidence from where they found the body. They initially thought it was a drug deal gone wrong, and her body had been left in a suggestive position, which meant that it was done on purpose and with intention. It was also found that her hands and face were burnt so that she would be unrecognizable. Shanda's father, Stephen Scherer, noticed that she was missing on that morning. So he phoned his neighbors and her friends and his wife. And then at 1:45 p.m., when they still couldn't find her, remember she was 12 years old, they filed a missing persons report with the sheriff. At 8:20 p.m. that night, Lawrence and Ripey, I guess they were feeling just super guilty, and they went together with their parents to the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office, and they both gave statements. They identified the victim as Shanda Scherer and named the two other girls who were involved, and they described the events that had transpired the night before. After further investigation, the sheriff was able to use dental records to identify the burned body to that of Shanda. Loveless and Tackett were arrested on January 12th. Most of the evidence on the arrest warrant came from the statements made by Lawrence and Ripey, and they were all charged as adults. They all accepted plea deals to avoid the death penalty. So, here is how they were sentenced. Tackett and Loveless were sentenced to 60 years, 6-0. Ripey was sentenced to 60 years with 10 years suspended for mitigating circumstances, and on appeal that was reduced to 35 years. In exchange for cooperation, Lawrence was allowed to plead guilty to one count of criminal confinement and was sentenced to a maximum of 20 years. Lawrence was released after 9 But did they pay for their crime? What do you think? I don't know. I mean, I haven't heard that any of them have reoffended, but I mean, I don't know. So I guess you can look at punishment versus rehabilitation. You know, are they rehabilitated? Or at the very least, will they never do something as terrible as this again? Are they safe to society? Probably. But was it enough of a punishment what they got compared to what they did? I mean, it's been so long and they were basically children and now they are full-grown adults. Are they the same person? You know, are you the same person when you were like 16, 17 as you are at like 40 or whatever they are, whatever they were when they got out? I don't know. It's one of those tricky things. I really can't say. I mean, what they did was so absolutely just, there are no words to describe how horrible, evil, terrible they were with what they did. That is just, how does a human do that to another human? How? And they didn't even know her. And she had hardly, what had she done? She had done nothing to anyone. It was just that this Loveless was jealous. You know, people break up and they move on. So yes, we know that Loveless had a lot of problems. She was a complete mess based on what had happened to her. And all of the girls had problems, clearly. But they all knew right from wrong, okay? But clearly, not one of them had an ounce of empathy. I just don't even, I'm shocked that people exist who are like this. It's horrible, 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 horrible. So disturbing. So the question is, why would they have gone along with all of this? Was it fun for them? Did they want to fit in? I mean, I don't see why they would want to fit in. They didn't even know this Loveless girl. I just don't know why. I don't know. I have no answers. If you can enlighten me with how something so horrible could happen and how such horrible people all found each other, please tell me. And why is it that those two girls, Ripey and Lawrence, they went and they did all this stuff, okay? I mean, they were a little bit like after the beginning part of it, they weren't as into it, you know? But they did enough horrible stuff. And then the next day they're like, oh wow, what the heck? We gotta go to the police with this. Like, how did they have such a major change? And didn't they realize that they were going to be in massive trouble? Like, did they think that they weren't going to be in trouble for this? Is that why they